Madrinov. And this is the Crawford versus Madrinov preview prediction video. I gotta be honest, gotta be really honest, keep it real with you. When I first saw this dude and I was watching the way Terence Crawford was moving, I was thinking, this guy could be a real problem. He could be a real problem. He's big, he's strong, he can box. And I was worried for Terence. And the guy don't talk that much just because he doesn't speak English. But now I was actually concerned because obviously Terence has got that big win against Errol Spence. He's had the limelight on him. You see him a lot popping up here and there. You think maybe the limelight may have gone to his head. Well, that's what you think. It can happen. But it's good to see him back in the gym and back at fight weight, ready to go to fight at light middleweight. Few things to talk about. First of all, because a guy's bigger doesn't make him better. It's just bigger. Bigger doesn't mean better in boxing. There's many examples I've given in previous videos. Tyson Fury against Alexander Usyk, the much bigger guy, much stronger guy. They say Usyk beat him. Larry Holmes, Michael Spinks versus Jerry Cooner. Bigger doesn't mean better. Because you're bigger, it doesn't mean you're better. So, and it's not the first time. Historically speaking, fighters that move up in weight, some move up in weight because they've weight drained and they actually get better as they move up in weight. So, Thomas Hearns, he moved up in weight. Look, he finished his career at cruiserweight. You look at his legs when he was a welterweight. You look at him at a cruiserweight. A totally different situation. My point is this: when they talk about big fights, usually there's a point in boxing where a guy moves up in weight, and on the night he finds that the weight is too much. He's effective at one weight, middleweight, and then or light middleweight, and then he moves up 2 weight divisions, 3 weight divisions, and the jump is too high. It's too much. It's too much for the body to carry that weight around. They're effective for the first couple of rounds, and things that made them great at that weight division. When they go up against guys the same size as them now, it evens out. So it's not about them being bigger at the weight or stronger at the weight. Now their skill set is necessary, and they might not have had a great skill set, but they're just big at the weight, which is what I call weight bullies. Weight bullies are good when they fight in their own weight category and they're a bit bigger. But when they start fighting guys the same size as them, then it's down to skill set. Crawford doesn't have that problem because he's tremendously skilled. He's got speed, he's got reflexes, punching power, great boxing IQ, footwork, sets traps, all that stuff. I've always had a question mark about Crawford's chin, and I'll always say I don't have great confidence in Crawford's chin. But you've got to be able to hit it, and you've got to be hit it regular. Crawford's defense is very good. He's not there to be hit. He does get hit. Don't get me wrong. It's like anybody. You can get hit and you can get hurt. I still don't have the greatest confidence in it. That being said, I've always told you that boxers fight in patterns. And Madrinov, when you look at him, he's got Golovkin-esque body movement. The way he fights is Golovkin-esque. He reminds me of Gennady Golovkin, but he's got some problems. He's got some big problems. When I first saw this, like the matchup between these two guys, about looking Madrinov fight, I was scared for Crawford because I thought Madrinov would overpower Crawford. He would beat him up and stop him. That's what I thought, and it could happen. It's two guys fighting in the ring. It's possible it could happen. But for him to do that, he'll have to quicken up his punches, have to get a higher output of punches, and he'll have to engage with Crawford and get close to him. And right there is the problem. Crawford has got great hand and footwork, and he's a counter puncher. He can box out of both stances effectively. And if he catches you and he nails you, he's one of the best finishers in the world. Madrinov's got a problem. Madrinov's got a big problem because he's got big holes in his defense. When he jabs, often he jabs. You can jab, and if when he jabs, you can move out of range, and he overcompensates, leaving himself wide open for uppercuts. He's wide open for overhand rights. He's wide open for check left hooks. So Madrinov is wide open for counters. And for a guy like Crawford, you cannot overstep or overstretch against a guy like Crawford. So technically, Madrinov's got big problems. And with 10 fights, yeah, he could close the range down and he could hurt Crawford if he hits him, nails him. The problem is, by the time he's going to try and nail Crawford, he might find himself on the canvas. He fights. He makes similar mistakes to Spence. With Spence again would overcompensate, would overstretch when throwing the jab. And he's overstretched. That's where you get countered. And if Crawford is anywhere as sharp as he was against Spence, this guy Madrinov could get knocked out inside 7 rounds. I'm telling you, because you can't keep making them mistakes. You can't keep throwing the jab. You throw the jab, and you're all inside your face is there to get hit. You're all there to get hit. You're there to get nailed. And that dude's not got fast feet. His hands are not particularly quick. Yeah, his punch is hard. But against Crawford, he's an elite fighter. I see these guys tailor-made for Crawford. He's tailor-made to make Crawford go out there and actually annihilate him. Honestly. The only thing that could be a problem in this fight for Crawford is A, not 100% on the game, like not trained properly, not being focused. Because if he's serious about fighting Canelo, if we're serious about talking and fighting Canelo, this fight, it should be easy work. If he's talking about fighting Canelo, because Canelo's up super middleweight, light heavyweight. So Canelo will be watching this fight and see, right, what do you do in another weight category? How's your power work in another category? Yeah, you're a big puncher at welterweight. Now, how do you punch it like middleweight? You know, how do you hold? How do you look? Do you look as impressive at welterweight as you do at middleweight? So Canelo will be watching those things. How do you react to when somebody hits you from a light middleweight, right? So yeah, it's interesting to see Crawford sparring with Andre Ward. That was interesting to see. But would that help him against like Madrinov style? Ward is far more technical than Madrinov, yes. But Crawford, for me, just watch the power. But the way you watch the power is with a stiff jab and sharp counters. Don't make sure you're not backing up against some ropes. Fight the fight in the middle of the ring. Sharp counters. And if Crawford can be sharp in the counter, when this guy, I expect Crawford to land either the overhand right or the uppercut as this guy, or short left hook as this guy is coming inside. As this guy tries to use the jab to come inside, look for Crawford to counter. Might not do it in round 1. Might not do it in round 2. Fighters fight in patterns, I told you. So he will probably wait to see what Madrinov does. And if Madrinov gets out of hand, or he misbehaves, or he tries to do something like try to threaten Crawford, or he tries to do something, tries to be the man on the night, that's where he's going to get hurt. And that's where he's going to have a problem. And that's where he'll get knocked out. When he tries to be too adventurous, tries to be too brave for his own good, that's when he's going to get hurt. And he'll make mistakes. And he's inexperienced. So you won't have the experience to make the mistakes. Thank you very much, John. It's just I've had a break. I've got a break now. I've got a break for now and another couple of weeks. So I'm enjoying the break and I'm enjoying the boxing. If Madrinov makes them mistakes against Crawford, he's gonna get absolutely destroyed. That's it. But because he beats Madrinov, that does not mean he beats Crawford. Canelo is experienced. He won't make those sort of mistakes. The only thing that Crawford probably his favour is that Canelo's had a lot of fights, and he could be on a downward spiral. But Crawford's not Floyd. Floyd has got tremendous. Floyd doesn't get hit the sort of way Crawford gets hit. Crawford gets hit flush regularly. If you watch Crawford fights, he gets caught in between throwing shots, and he does get hit flush. So Crawford has to be careful. But if he doesn't get hit by Madrinov with a big shot, then I think that Crawford has this fight done handily, personally. Let me know what you think in the comment section about Crawford versus Madrinov. Is it an easy fight? There's weight divisions for a reason. Is Crawford going to struggle at light? And he struggles at light middleweight. That's his top. He's going no way to no Canelo. And Canelo will be hoping that he struggles at light middleweight. He hopes that Crawford struggles or labours at light middleweight. If he destroys Madrinov, you will not see Canelo anywhere near a Crawford fight. But if he struggles or he looks bad, or he gets rocked, then Canelo you'll see want to take that fight. But Canelo's not sure. He wants to see what this guy does at another weight division. They're probably behind his scenes saying, right, Crawford's going to move up another weight division. Let's see how Crawford looks there. And Canelo's like, I ain't fighting that dude. Let me see what that dude does first. Because what? I'm fighting a dude that's like, I fought the Charlo fight. I didn't get credit for the Charlo fight. I beat up Charlo. I didn't get any credit for that. Let's see this Crawford dude. Let's see what he does. So, let's see. Let's see. But imagine if Crawford got beat by a guy who only had 10 fights. The thing is, he's had 10 fights, but he's got experience. He's an experienced fighter. And that's he's got to be just Crawford's got to be careful. But yeah. Once Crawford's calculated this guy out and noticed he's making these mistakes, if his camp hasn't already worked it out and got it in the game plan, Madrinov's getting himself knocked out. And Crawford might make it look very easy. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Again, as always, don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments, share the videos. Thanks a lot. Take care.